Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Kenja no Mago episode 5. So, last episode, they started getting, well, I'm calling it a club, but it's not necessarily a club. I forget what they call it. They started the club. A ton of people wanted in because of what happened with Kurt. Finding out that Shin was the one that stopped him after he went demonoid. So they wanted to learn the kind of magic that he uses. The teacher, however, gave I guess, a slight requirement. Where they had to know two certain types of spells before they could go in. Or two certain types of magic before they could go in. And only two people were able to make it. Out of, I don't know how many, 20, 30? There was a lot of them. One guy, one girl. One of them, their family owns like a really famous restaurant in town. And the other one, his family, they're blacksmiths. Like his dad is a blacksmith and he works at the shop too. They're very famous. They make a lot of really good weapons and armor and stuff like that. So, Shin asked him to make a sword for him. And he was like, I don't know if my weapon would compare to anything that you have right now. Like the weapon you used to kill Kurt. And he's like, oh, that was just a standard sword. Basically, he puts like a magic around the sword that lets it cut through pretty much anything, which is why he was able to do it. But he wants it to be thinner and lighter, so it can move faster. The only issue is that if it's thinner, it's going to break easier. So he wants it to be sturdy as well. So he's got to find that balance between the two. They also find the teacher, the one who turned Kurt. They said in this episode that they had put a... oh god, I forget what they called it. But basically, they made it so nobody could talk about what happened. Don't leak any information. Don't give out the name of who went demonoid. Don't give out the name of who... Well, I guess there's no saving Shin. Everybody already knows that he killed the demonoid. But don't give out any kind of information. Nothing. So, they go to the teacher. And they're talking about it. And he brings up, he did not... Sorry, trying to fix something here. It's bothering me. And he brings up that it was a shame what happened to Kurt. So they ask him, we'd like you to come down and help us try to track down who did this. Since you're a well-established mage, we think that it would help to have you with us. So he says, okay, yeah, I'll go down to the school and join this, I guess, council or whatever it is that they're putting together. When they get there, it's a trap. They had set him up because nobody should have known that Kurt was the one that went demonoid, and he specifically named Kurt when he was talking about it. So he gave himself up. He gave himself away, basically. And they were trying to stop him, but it did not end well. Turns out that Shin and the rest of the group were walking by when he attacked this dude. When the teacher attacked the guy that brought him in, causing a big explosion, destroying the wall that they just walked by. And when they go to check it out, the teacher's still there. He's basically pretty cocky. And Shin hears that he's the one that turned Kurt and makes him mad. And then he charges him. with his sword, not really getting any hits. The guy is dodging pretty much everything, and it's pretty even basically. Then Shin cuts the glasses he's wearing, and you see that he has red eyes because he's a demonoid. But he was somehow able to keep his senses and, not lose control of himself. And Shin pretty much uses his pretty amazing spell. He's like trying to distract him so he doesn't know what he's doing. And when it finally comes down to use the spell, the teacher is starting to use another spell to attack Shin. And then he notices the light around him, and he looks and he sees these big like spell circles, like casting circles up in the sky. And a beam just fires down on top of him. And then he's gone. There was a slight explosion, and then he was gone. Shin is a little confused because he did not expect the explosion. I think he's pretty much doubting that the guy is dead. He'll eventually put it together, or he'll just see him again. But yeah, he didn't die. He got away, but he's pretty injured. And now he's going to be more on guard against Shin, since he knows what he's capable of. And by the time they see each other again, Shin will probably be even more powerful, because he's just growing as the days go by. So yeah, get into this episode and see what's going to happen. I'm assuming they're going to start the club, and he's going to start teaching them some stuff, since it's starting to get a little crazy, and it would help for them to know some high-level attacks and defensive abilities. So, the video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.